Hello everyone, and welcome back to Star Stable Online. I am here with Daygaze as we stand in the absolutely beautiful, magical Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur, getting ready to go on yet another rescue mission. I have to say, out of all of the horses that we have had, I have never had someone rescue so many people and animals as Daygaze has, back to back so quickly. It seems like every time he has an opportunity to do any kind of adventuring lately, it is to go forth and rescue somebody. I really love how it completely fits his personality as being a trained rescue horse familiar with the Frozen Valley lands. But we are actually headed out to try to find Elsa Einstein, Professor Elsa Einstein, a researcher of seismatics who has been sent to the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur by helicopter, and we heard that helicopter crash last time. The winds here are just far too dangerous to be able to swing in by any kind of like air machinery. Whoa, Daygaze! I can't go this direction. But the winds here are just far too dangerous for trying to come in by helicopter or hot air balloon, as Nick Stoneground's expedition, which is now smushed, shows. So let's see if we can locate right over... There you go. Good job, Daygaze. Oh, this is so amazing. Jumping from ice floe to ice floe. Look! Look, 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 look! My goodness! It's like we saw the blade of we actually saw the blade of the helicopter before we even found the helicopter itself. But this must be Professor Einstein. Hello, Professor Einstein. Let me go ahead and get off my horse and then greet you properly. I absolutely love your professory hairdo and your stockings, by the way, with those clogs. You are looking the part entirely. I'm very impressed, ma'am. But we found her. So, oh, she doesn't look very comfortable. I have an extra coat. Would you like an extra coat, ma'am? I do have one, and a helicopter crash is not something to take lightly. Oh my gosh, she has the funniest voice. Who are you? Well, hello to you, Saga. I'm Professor Elsa Einstein. Are you perhaps, by chance, a qualified helicopter mechanic? I did do something really fancy with a elevator recently, but I think that this might be beyond my abilities. No? How about Chinese? Do you speak Chinese? Funny you should say that. My boyfriend is actually fluent in not only modern Chinese, but many dialects along the border regions and actually ancient Chinese from the 1100s, but I don't think that's going to help us now. Translating ancient Chinese and Mandarin is not going to be effective whatsoever at this case. No? Blast. My knowledge of helicopters is basic at best, and the manual I found is in Chinese, which is one of the few languages I've yet to master. You have to understand that I simply don't have time to spend 3.7 days through reasoning and logical thinking to learn either about how helicopters work, or indeed the Chinese language from the manual. By that time, I'll have frozen to death in this miserable place. Well, you could share a fire with Camp, Stoneground if you don't mind. Well, now you've turned up, a solution to my problem appeared. Such good fortune. Without risking your horse's health, two people should be able to sit on horseback with each other and ride along with the same efficiency to the nearest place with some kind of civilized temperature. Now, Saga, how does one get up on a saddle? In theory, it's very simple, but I've noticed that in practice it's more difficult to perform my movements in the order and the accuracy as theory requires. You'll help me? Oh, this is so cute. I love how she says, in theory, she knows what she's supposed to do, but she's noticed there's a disconnect between theory and actually moving her body the way she wants. That's adorable. Thank you. That was kind of you. Now you get to steer this vehicle to civilization before my body temperature reaches a critically low level. Oh, she's kind of really adorable. All right, come on, Daygaze. We actually are rescuing her this time too, which is pretty darn amazing, because what a kaleidoscope crash we have here. This is just not cool. Ugh, the poor woman. I mean, a helicopter crash is not something you ever want to be in. So let's go ahead and get her over to where Mr. Stoneground happens to be. All right, hang on tight. We're going to have to do a little bit of jumping to get back there too, which I love. The Frozen Valley Lake. This is so beautiful. I know some people might consider this place boring, but it is honestly one of my favorite places. There's something about how simple it is and the frozen wilderness of it. The way that the smallest gesture, like the lanterns, stand out so potently. One tree against this snowy backdrop really can take your breath away. All right, there we go. Thank goodness We found her. I am so relieved. There we go. I wonder what Nick is going to think having to share his tent with Professor Einstein. What on earth is this place? Oh, would you look at that? Nick's Stoneground. Nick's Stoneground. I see that, as usual, you've used your unstoppable talent for ineptitude to build some kind of camp. How will you ever be able to conduct serious research with this kind of uncivilized setting? We can discuss this issue later. I see that you have a fire burning, and it must be only a matter of minutes before my extremities have frozen to the point that you could snap off a finger. Nick, before I warm myself by the fire, I must remember to convey the greetings of the board of the university. They want to express their congratulations to you on discovery of this valley, and they look forward to the first results of your expedition here with great excitement. They also say they will unfortunately not be able to fund your research any further before they see some real results. Now, that's a good point. You really can't fund somebody who does science like Nick does. And with that said, Saga, I can now declare I have never been so happy to be close to such a primitive fire. Precious warmth. I'm glad that she's happy. And Nick, don't be grouchy about it. I can understand where she's coming from. Like, it's a little difficult looking at your ponchos and, your socks hanging to dry in the snow and looking at the floating, fridge that you've got. It's to understand what kind of research is going here. I'm not saying you're in the wrong. I'm just saying I could understand how a brilliant mind such as yours needs to find more ways to convey what you're up to. All right, let's see. Oh dear. No more funding. This is quite a setback. Let's see. Research in exile. Oh, Saga, if I'm ever going to be able to make any proper discoveries, I can't have Professor Einstein poking around all the time. What's she doing here anyway? She hasn't said anything? She was sort of freezing to death. Can you give her one of your ponchos? What? If she's related to Albert? Einstein? Well, yes, she is, but from the smart side of the family. If she thinks this camp is so awful, then she's welcome to improve whatever she wants, just as long as she doesn't bother me and my epic plans. Tell her that for me, Saga. Oh boy, are we going to be stuck in between these two? Professor Einstein? Hello to you again, young Saga. What am I up to? Well, I am, Right, listen, my recent experiments with the practical application of quantum dynamics weren't so popular with the university management. They were a bit miffed that I'd built a very small nuclear reactor in order to generate enough power to run my devices. I assure you have a lot more in common with Nick than you think you do, Professor Einstein. I assured them that it was harmless, but apparently it didn't matter. They were completely irrational and refused to listen to my entirely logical explanations. To cut a long story short, we agreed that I would pursue my research elsewhere until this whole affair has settled down. Also, Evening Wind is such a cool name, and look at her. She's dressed all in black with a black horse. Very cool indeed. Because apparently the authorities weren't very happy that someone had built a hydrogen bomb in the middle of Jorvik City. Why did I build a hydrogen bomb? I was worried about Nick's slapdash way of survival, but Miss Einstein, you're sort of making me a bit nervous. It was just a completely ordinary and entirely banal experiment. I'd never intended to detonate the bomb for real, and certainly not right then in any case. I'm really scared of her now, actually. Maybe she's not a good person. But, then again, people who get really into their research sometimes lose touch with the reality that building a bomb is a bad thing to do. Well, not everyone can be rational. For some reason, the university management found that this distinct, isolated location they just heard about sounded perfect for me to conduct my research in. So I'm here. Unfortunately, all my equipment was lost in the helicopter crash. Hello, Evening Wind! So I don't really know what to do now. Oh, poor Evening Wind. Okay, really quickly. Recording now, but nice to meet you both. We're on an epic adventure. I can't wait to share. There we go. I gotta keep moving, but nice to see you. I love your outfits. Yay! Also, your hat looks very warm and your horse is beautiful. I can't wait either. It's so beautiful here. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Gosh, thank you, you two. That was so so friendly. Guys, when it's like that, I totally don't mind running into people. If like, I can't talk long, but quick exchange of pleasantries is so just polite. Thank you both. Saga, can you answer me something? How on earth is someone supposed to conduct serious research here? It's like I've only taken a one-way trip to the Stone Age. What's that? Nick wondered if I would be responsible for the camp? Probably the first intelligent thought that came out of that man in his whole life. I'll see to it that this becomes a first-class research facility of the very highest international standard. It's probably a good thing she's going to get started on this. First, I need to set out a plan. Saga, a pen and paper at once so that the planning can begin. This is probably good for her. I mean, if she's being isolated from her research, she's been kicked out from where she normally, like, has lived. Building a hydrogen bomb, probably not a good idea, but maybe taking someone as brilliant as her and sort of throwing her back to the Ice Ages. I don't know if you'd call it the Stone Age, personally. It's the Ice Age, totally. Puns. No, Seri. No, behave yourself, Saga. Don't laugh at that. There you go, Professor Einstein. I'm sure you'll be able to achieve so much here, even though you are tossed back to the Ice Age. And perhaps this time, with so many limitations on your resources, challenging your brilliant mind, you won't have to build hydrogen bombs. A pen and paper. Thank you, Saga. Now let the planning begin. Oh my. Oh, the fire went out. We're gonna starve. Panic. Everybody panic. It's panic time. Brr. What's going on? It's so cold my brain has almost frozen solid. The temperature must be at least 0 degrees Kelvin. Brr! Brr! Look, Saga, the fire's gone out. Brr! Saga, don't just stand there, do something. Get something appropriately flammable immediately before we freeze to death. Sticks, branches, twigs, anything. Oh my gosh, Ava Rainpaw. My jaw hit the ground. You are dressed to the nines, ma'am. You look like some sort of, like, specialized superhero writer. Oh my goodness. Carrying on. Alright, at least 0 degrees Kelvin. Alright, hang in there, hang in there. Poor woman. If she would just put on one of Nick's ponchos. Gosh, I wish I had the art skills to draw that, actually, because I think that'd be adorable. To see her like, hair sticking every which way, and to see her wearing one of Nick's ponchos. Against both their will, no doubt. Is there something down here? Ah, good, another branch. They're really scattered about. I guess we've been burning through a lot of the branches that are nearby. And a lot of them have to dry before we can really use them. Alright, let's come this way. And let's see. Hang in there, Professor Einstein. This happens periodically. It's kind of like eating. I'm sure you understand the concept of feeding that glorious brain of yours by eating. Daygaze is so patient with all of this too. I mean, if you think about it, I suppose a horse that deals with rescues would have a lot of really upset people show up out of the blue. Or like, you know, he's rescuing people who'd be like ridiculously distraught. So Daygaze is just like literally the calmest horse we have. You found twigs. The fire has gone out. Put the twigs on the fire, quick, Saga. Take this lighter and light the fire. All right, I've got it. There's no need for panic. No need for panic. All right, where's the little lighter? I probably shouldn't be so, like, laissez-faire about this, but we've been down this road with Nick before, and Nick apparently has a whole bunch of quests for us, so I'm quite curious about what he's going to get us up to. I mean, this is better than... hang on. This is a lot better than the fact that, like, Avalon won't even pay attention to this place right now. All right, let's see what's going on. You can stay over there, Daygaze. Professor Einstein? Ah, heat at last. How lovely. That was probably the most horrific situation I've ever found myself in. Saga, this is truly a deadly cold, getting right into your joints and deep down into your bones. How can we attract the world's leading researchers to this climate? Well, we could try building a building to start. Shh, let me think, Saga. Ah, I've got it! Or maybe a hot springs? What is her plan? My logical thinking is really in top form today, Saga. Hush now and listen to my plan. The first step that must be implemented is, of course, to mark the way here, so that potential candidates for our research center can at least find their way here. Since the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur is at a technological level comparable to the Stone Age, it is particularly appropriate that we adjust our methods accordingly. Do you understand, Saga? No? Well then, let me give you a suitably Stone Age explanation. Ugh. Bring torches. Go toward elevator. Stick torches in torch holders. Ugh. Light torches with lighter. Lighter. Ugh, ugh. That was a bit rude, wasn't it, Saga? This cold really has me cranky. I'm sorry. Come on now, off you go. Oh my gosh. I think that this is one of my new favorite people ever, you guys. I love Professor Einstein. But all right, we are going to light a bunch of torches to light the way, and I think it may be safe to start asking Nick exactly what he wants to get up to too. Despite the fact that they both feel like we are in the Ice Age, not the Stone Age, I really think that this is going to be a fun place, and I want to settle in here as much as I can before the update spell arrives. So thank you guys for joining me on this journey, and if you want to continue to follow along, do please consider subscribing to join this and literally thousands more adventures, and leave a like for the Ugh Ice Age if you could, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!